Hi, this is Samon Burnham speaking on behalf of the Skill Tracking and Development Project under the ARS Agile Research Studio SIG under the DTR Classroom Design Technology and Research. Got a bunch of acronyms, but we're here today to talk about the progress made during spring 2018. So this will be a quick video going over what we did, our project goals, quarter goals, and kind of like the more DTR goals that we had going through the course. So project goals. So this quarter was a very good quarter for skill tracking and development. We've been working towards just trying to understand, okay, when students are in a learning community, they need help. They ask for help. That's a normal process that happens. We are really trying to understand, okay, what are the needs? What are the things that users who are asking for help want to do? And two, what are the things that are stopping them from getting what they want? So through some need finding in the beginning and through analysis through user testing and just kind of asking a bunch of questions, as well as going through research from last quarter, we came up with, by the end of last quarter, we had this prototype right here. So if we go to the weekly, the tool that we use every week in DTR to kind of articulate what we need help with and who we think can help us, if we go to this tool, this is what we had in the end. It was a recommender where you would type in, I need help debugging my Meteor app. Let's do that, get helpers. Does it load for a bit? And it's probably not going to work the first time I try this, but what would happen is that if I refresh this and we can try it again, what is supposed to happen is that when you type in the task, you get a list of names of people who think they are qualified to help. And this qualified resource is the Guru list, which is a list that we all maintain about once every few weeks. It's kind of self-reported, but that you have some caveats with self-reported, obviously. But it's a list that we use to maintain skill information of users in the community. So you'd go here, if it works now, go to Douglas Recommender, shows sidebar 1, and I would do, okay, I need help with debug my Meteor app. So if I do this right here, you see I get a list of names that are people who, so they are self-reported to help, or people who think they are qualified to help on this task. So you have a list of names and everything's good, but we learned from our research and our testing from last quarter that just seeing a list of names is not enough for people to feel that they should be able to reach out to these people. So if Eli Cohen right here is my best friend and I see him on this list, I'm not going to choose anyone else on the list if I know that Eli is good and I know I can reason about in my head why I think Eli might be the best person to reach out to. So this quarter, really trying to understand and kind of do some research on what do we think people actually need to see to be able to trust an interface like this and be able to reach out for help more often, and not just more often, but the people they do not normally reach out to in the first place. So we worked through flight testing the beginning of winter quarter, the second sidebar, where I would type in C debug my Meteor app, and you'll see a very similar interface, but this interface reaches out to the pair research database and gets the information that this person is most, or gets the task that this person rated highest. So Eli Cohen rated these following tasks a 4, which means he's very good at helping at these tasks. So we're trying to really piece that, okay, our design question, or who are our users? Our users are people asking for help. What is their problem? They want to reach out to help, but they have a limited understanding of who in the community can actually help them on the task that they need help with. And this was a tool to kind of help people get over that blocker and understand the needs that people have when encountering a help-seeking situation and how we can address those and leverage them. How we can address their needs and leverage technology to help them get their end goals. Cool, so our design argument, starting off, if we go to our canvas, we had 2 at the beginning of the quarter. The first one was that, 1, users should be able to see or understand, not just see lists, but understand who in the community can help them on a certain task. So if I need help with Meteor, for example, I should be able to somehow understand everyone in the community, or even just a qualified subset of people, top 5, top N people, who can help me on that task. And in partner with that, our second design argument was that given a list of people who are good at a certain task, a user should be able to assess who the best person is to reach out to in that one moment. And best is it depends on your definition of what best means, but that can lead to many different interface arguments that we have later on of what we think is the most important feature that someone should have. In this quarter, really experimenting, what are those features that people think are important? So one of the main ones we focused on this quarter was availability. So if students want to reach out for help but don't know if someone is available that week or they don't know their schedules, that's something that we kind of noticed in our user testing, that users don't want to list people they think are going to be very busy, or that's one of the hardest parts to coordinate help seeking, is just whether someone actually has time that quarter or has time that week to help. So we wanted to test this out. So what we did was we used the studio view of the weekly, which is the tool we use every week in the DTR, we said before. We use this studio version as a database almost to query and see how many people are being requested in a given week. And given that, we will update the interface as people are filling out the weekly so they can kind of get a high level view of the resource availability of people in the community. So I'll pull this up so we can see. We go to, let's just open this. It's a bit slow right now. Let's go to this one right here. So if we scroll down, we can see every single person in the community, what they listed that week on their weekly as their biggest blocker, as well as the people they thought could help them that week on that certain task. So if we scroll to the bottom, we can see, we can sum up the totals of people's names in the columns, and we can kind of get a very high level view of, okay, where are the resources in our community going, and where are we having a bit too much of a pull or too much of demand on people that might not have time that week. So for example, looking at this, Leisha is yellow because she has a lot of people requesting her help that week, so she might be busy. So this information might be useful in an interface so people can see what people are doing that week and why they might not be the best person to reach out to. So implemented in the interface on the weekly, we have something that looks kind of like this. So this was tested during a status update in class about 3 weeks ago, so 3 weeks at the end of the quarter, about week 7, week 6-ish. And this is a simple interface. You just put in your name. Okay, my name is Seymon. I'm going to scroll down here. And depending on what category of help I need help with, I can just click and I can see a real-time update of how many people have requested this resource this week. So we can see that Leisha has 5 people who have listed her as a potential person to reach out to for help that week. So she might be pretty busy. So it might not be best to reach out to Leisha this week. Maybe we should reach out to Kapil because he has 0 people who are reaching out to him this week, but he's also qualified in Google Sheets. So this is our prototype to see how users responded to having these 2 design arguments implemented in an interface. What we noticed is that while students thought this is a very useful idea and something that's very cool and something they would use, they did not still trust the interface. So we asked, why did they not trust the interface? They did not trust the interface because they were not sure whether this person can help them on what they need help with right here. So to explain a bit more, if a student is going through and they need help and their mentor says, oh, okay, you need help, or you're going to design a study based off of this, and this week. The mentor knows who in the community has that skill, and in particular knows exactly why they might be a good fit for this task. So what users encountered with this interface is that they saw Google Sheets, but didn't know what exactly with Google Sheets these people were qualified in. So they weren't sure that these people were the best people to reach out to for what they needed. So we noticed that while the students found this very useful, and the recommendations were equal, if not, the recommendations were on par with what students have gotten in the past, they realized that you need more information in the interface or more reasoning about why these names showed up. So for future steps, we're thinking about combining not just this interface, but the one we tested before, where we had these strings from Pear Research show up that are the person's top task in the Douglas Recommender 2. For future steps, we're thinking about combining this with a bit of reasoning as a better matching system to see, so students can know, okay, if I need help building a user story around my system and understanding how to build tech around it, we can use this string to search the Pear Research task database and find people who are very similar to the task because they have rated very similarly worded tasks in the database very highly. So to give an example, let's say that last month, Josh was in Pear Research, and he saw that building a user story around my system was a task or something very similar to what somebody asked, and he rated that task a 5. We know that we should put Josh's name either higher up in the list or just show Josh's name by itself as a recommendation for this user because Josh has seen this task in particular and he is free this week, which are 2 reasons as to why somebody might decide to reach out for help in a certain week. So those are the questions that we wanted to ask and kind of understand. It's a high-level overview of what we went through this quarter. For technology overview, this sidebar right here is built in the native Google Sheets API language, but instead of using the Google Sheets language to build the interface and go through, we thought it'd be much easier to just use tools that we've used before, we're comfortable with, and are more powerful than what Google Sheets allows you, to give us a bit more flexibility and make us a bit more agile as we're working towards what we're working on. So this is just an HTML iframe that links to this page right here, which is a React app that connects to the Google Sheets API database that we showed. And it's a way for us to very quickly on the fly make updates, push to GitHub and push to Heroku, and very quickly change our interface much faster than we could in the Google Scripts language, because in the Google Scripts language, when you make changes, you have to publish to the App Store one more time for them to be public. And once you publish to the App Store, it takes about an hour or two for it to change. So this allows us to be much more rapid with our development and give us a lot more opportunity to give users the tool that they wanted, but also being quick and being fast. So those are the updates for this quarter, and we also have the future steps that we're given, just kind of understanding not just, another big thing that we learned, which is also very important, is that we kind of iterated over, or we went through our canvas just thinking about our users as people asking for help, but those aren't the only users in the help-seeking scenario. And when someone's asking for help, it's not you don't just have to worry about the needs of the help seeker, but you have to worry about the needs of the help giver. So the help giver might have needs such as, I want tasks that are appropriate to my skill level. I want tasks that I know how to help with. I want tasks that I know I have time for. These are all important factors that we have not thought about in our canvas, and these are also additional sections that we can fill out for things like identifying a design solution, testing if a design problem exists, and for us to write additional design arguments as to what our system should have in order for all parties to be happy. So I want to say thank you for listening. This was the Spring Quarter 2018 quarterly update for help-seeking skill tracking and development, also known as help-seeking, also known as Douglas, also known as The Weekly, also known as the best project in ARS. So I want to say thank you for listening and have a good day.